I've got rather an interesting video to share. It is spiritual, so anyone that doesn't really believe in spirituality, I don't think they're going to quite understand the message. This does pertain to Israel, which I found like really deep. I only got through a very small part before I thought, I'm going to share this. And the reason it piqued my interest initially, and there's two reasons now, but initially, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it on camera. Oh, my camera drives me nuts. I don't know. Just look where the hearts are. It's the glare. Let me try and put my let me put the brightness down. It might help. I don't know if you can see that. 444 on the likes, and we'll zoom out to give it the authenticity and all that. That's exactly the same video that she's showing here. It's from that video. 444 on the likes. That's why I take screenshots quite often. I've got a whole freaking trail of evidence from all sorts of situations in the world, and Spirit always gives me it. Like 444. What are the odds of that? So of course I'm thinking, crap, I want to be able to do the video and have 444 on this video. But of course, by the time I've set the camera up and I've turned the computer on, there's going to be more likes. Now, if I refresh this page, there'll be even more likes. I nearly made it. Look, 448 likes. I was literally 4 away. Yeah. There was always going to be people like it because it's quite a serious message, and I think the people will get it. They will definitely like. But what was interesting was, okay, I missed the 444 this time around when I wanted to do the video, but look at this one, 144. Anyone on a spiritual journey or deep into one or understands that they call it the chosen ones are the 144. So it's the chosen few. It's not 144 people. I think it's 144,000. I don't think it's 144 million. I'm not sure the numbers. I think it's, anyway, specific people become here for this, to help heal the planet. That's what it pretty much is. So I found that quite remarkable that 444 and 144 on a video pertaining to the evil or the corruption that comes from Israel. And it goes far deeper than the surface level that you probably perceive. Now, I'm aware there's a battle between light and dark. You see it anyway between the puppet leaders around the world. I'm not going to go too deep into all that. And some of us are here to speak truth on situations and shine a light on it. And sometimes for our own personal protection, even if we're not scared of anything, for our own personal protection, because Spirit needs us to be in certain places at certain times. So for our own protections, to make it sure we can get there, they will cloak us, they hide us. So people, no matter what you try and do, you just can't even be seen. That's literally what happens. So maybe people might not even see this yet, but hey, anyway, I'm not going to worry about that. So we're going to share the video, but what I'm hoping people do, if you like the content of the video I'm sharing, there is going to be, I usually do video credits, but sometimes if there's too many videos, I can't just go mental doing that. But obviously, see on this one, I will add a video credit to the description of my YouTube video. And then hopefully, if you like it enough, rather than interact with my ones so much, if you do to or not to, maybe click through to their video and at least go, if you've got a TikTok account, like it. I think they deserve that. They're the ones that created the content. But this is a way for me to share it and obviously add my narrative over the top as well. But it's unlikely I'm going to pause the video. Hopefully I would just go watch it together because I've not seen it all either. I've only seen maybe a first minute.
Israel is being controlled by an entity that has been here since the beginning of time. If you see this flying saucer with these green eyes, this is a type of serpent energy that has been here since the beginning of time. It's necessary for it to be here because it's a duality. It represents void, nothingness. If creation is of the light, Israel is of anti-creation. It's the...
This is the only time I'm pausing it. It's just if you actually look where Israel is, there's a huge connection to Jesus Christ. So where he was born, where he grew up, where he lived, the experiences, all there within like Jerusalem. We've got Nazareth and all sorts of things, So that's quite crazy, isn't it? That if that is there, no wonder he had such a hard life. Got purity, absolute purity, conception. If that's been there since the beginning of time, I mean, they haven't delved into that. I don't know if they will cover that, but that straight away gets me thinking about that. Like, what are the chances of that?
Great devourer. It's all about dissolution and absorption, the return to nothingness. So the entity that's controlling Israel is something that wants to take everything into the void. With the Prince of Swords being here, it seems like they believe that they're the chosen people. And that's why there's this detonator right here with like TNT involved.
How is that? The chosen people. And I've got the chosen here. The chosen are of the light, not the dark.
Because they're trying to usher in the end of the world because they believe that God's going to come down and help them fight against all the other countries. Israel is trying to create a mass ending in the world. And I feel like this entity is what has hijacked them through secret societies. When the Nazis were experimenting on Jews, they opened up portals to outside things or outside beings. This is something that has been going on for a secret. This has created insanity within certain people, hysteria, hallucinations. The thing about Israel is that they're in an abusive relationship with the world. They abuse others. They oppress other people. They especially want to oppress rebels. And now that they've had basically full control of the United States government system, this is going to be amped up even more. But we're not afraid because we have instruction. We know that at the end of the day...
Let me show something there. I notice everything. Look at 144. As soon as she mentioned the fact they had full autonomy pretty much of the United States government, which many of us are aware of. We've opened our eyes. We see it ourselves. But look at the timing of that. Let's go. 144.
Is going to be amped up even more. But we're not afraid because we have instruction. We know that at the end of the day, light wins, God wins. New Earth is already created. So that was when we was talking about activism. So Israel is frantic, light wins, God wins. We're not afraid because...
We're not afraid. 144 is we're not afraid. So us of the light are not afraid of that. I'm getting huge goosebumps.
We have instruction. We know that at the end of the day, light wins, God wins. New Earth is already created. So Israel is frantic right now, trying to put all their weaponry up in display. This is like the last fight that they have before everything in the world turns around. I
didn't want to keep stopping it. We will get through it. I just want to make the point that I've said it for a long time. I don't know if I covered it in my books. I've definitely said it in some videos where... I think I have said it in a book, to be totally honest. The darkness, I never think about it. Any negative entity that's had control, grip of power, is never just going to give up power willingly. It's going to be forced to. So they're going to make a last stand. They're going to have a massive outcry. They're going to go absolutely mental. You know, they go nuclear. They go crazy. I'm not saying they shoot nuclears, but you know, the last stand, they do whatever they have to do to try to maintain power, because that's what their whole thing is about, dominance. So we're seeing that anyway, and I've always said that, you know, the light will win, but you know there will be a massive outcry. You know, there'll be like some sort of like demonstration where the darkness are trying just for that one last moment, try to maintain power, but they know it's a losing battle. They know they're losing. They know that they're becoming less significant in the world. So at one point you had people that were the puppet masters. Now they're realizing they can't control as many people, and people are en masse are literally speaking up and rebelling against. So their power is fading.
You have instruction. You are a master. You're an academic. You already know this. You are a rebel. These secret societies are no match for God. Whatever they were doing behind the scenes, Palestinians after World War II took in Jews. And those Jews ultimately ended up betraying the same people that took them in and give them shelter, solace, freedom. So whatever's going on is like, this is like a fight for humanity. This is like the last fight before everything turns into cornucopia, into New Earth. And you may be a soldier. I know I'm a soldier. You may have weaponry from the divine, knowledge from the divine, wisdom from the divine. You're practically untouchable. You're one of those people that's going to put in work for the world to activate certain energies from other galaxies. Some of you are star seeds. Some of you are earth angels. Some of you are like, you're placed strategically exactly where you're at because you're.
I'll be honest, I get huge goosebumps. I already know I'm a warrior of the light. I know my ranking within that. People might be confused as that, but I already know. Had it confirmed to me. And I am Starseed Origin. That was asked between a medium and me through channeling, and it actually come through. Yeah, we're Starseed Origins. That's where we was created. So yeah, we've been brought here to this experience to literally have a healing impact on Earth, because Earth is literally destroying itself, and there are many others too. But yeah, anyway, so on the face of it, I mean, obviously I know there's levels to this, and well, we're all just flesh here on this earth, aren't we? But when we've returned back to spirit, to source, our souls return back to the frequency it derives from. And it's just that some are higher frequency than others. So it's just the way it is. That's why we evolve our souls we keep we increasing that frequency. And of course, we need to increase the frequency of this planet for it to be far more peaceful and healing and flourish, rather than to keep destroying itself to the point where it's just a crater or completely blown up to oblivion. Anyway.
You're going to serve as like a buffer zone for the city that you're in, the area that you're in. What they want to do is essentially cause health issues in people. Whatever's going on in Israel with these people's minds, it's not everyone. I just want to let that know. It's not all the citizens. It's the people that are in power. It is a genetic illness. Like I said, the Nazis were doing experimentation on Jews, and ultimately they unlocked something, some sort of darkness, some sort of entity that came in. But
she's shouting. I don't like that. I can understand you getting pent up, you're getting excited, you're getting really angry because you're feeling it, but calm down. I think it's important we keep control of our emotions. But anyway, yeah, we hear about that anyway, these secret societies where they try to, that's where a lot of these concepts derive anyway. Like if you think of Disney, is it Tangled, where she brushes her hair and she takes her youth, so she keeps it to the evil person stays young. We hear about that a lot. I know it's like, it seem far-fetched, but I think there's always truth to some of this, if you dig enough. Where you see these secret societies, maybe they take children as sacrifices and they use their blood and stuff. It's quite sick, isn't it? It's satanic. So the problem is you've got positive, angelic light sources in this world. There's also very incredibly dark, demonic, satanic entities too. And they're doing everything they can just to stay youthful and things. It's just dark. It's just maddening, really, isn't it? That they go that far. So things that there obviously has to be a level of sacrifice for them to maintain power and maintain their looks. And you see it a lot. Like, I'm not here to sort of say whether Hollywood's satanic or not, but we're seeing a lot of potential. I'm not going to say evidence, because you have to prove. But I think there's a level of potential evidence where I've seen personally some footage, whether it's doctored, I don't know. That's why I'd say potential. But you're seeing it where certain people who maybe was charismatic in the past, maybe they had something like a really, really flourishing personality. All of a sudden, they just seem blank. Their eyes just don't seem to have anything in them, And it's almost like they've sold their soul for the fame, the fortune, and everything else they have. Now, whether I don't know. I'm not saying that's specifically true about each individual, but I just think personally, I think the potential's there, and I'm not going to say sure because I think that's talking certainty. I think delving deep enough and enough investigative work, I'm pretty confident we would unravel things like that. And again, where she was saying about the Nazis, I mean, there is talk that they were doing experiments on people, and doing experiments on things. And from what I've heard, they had potentially open portals. I've heard that in the past. They've helped to other entities and dimensions and things like that, which then sort of coalesces with the fact that the Egyptians potentially, and I say potentially, I think there's quite a lot of evidence pertaining to the fact that the Egyptians had a communication, a direct link, portal, wormholes, what you want to call it, to other like timelines, other dimensions. So they received advanced technologies and things to help them. And it was, he said sometimes there's this balance between, or this or not like diplomacy between things. They give something, they get something in return. I've seen some things will be deemed conspiracy theories. I mean, it's not about believing everything you hear. It's like build knowledge. There is suggestion that alien entities, now what we consider aliens, is going to be different to other people. So someone might consider it intergalactic things that are from different star systems and all that. But from what I'm understanding, for the most cases, it's actually an alteration of ourselves. In a different parallel universe, there's different versions of our species, if you like. So they call them the Greys, they call them different things. So they've all lived. It's almost like it's just frequency. We just all derive at different frequencies. And that sometimes their frequency envelops into ours, and then they literally have that experience in our reality. It's quite crazy. And some of these species have gone so far into evolution where they've just chased technology or just advancement where they can no longer reproduce. So they can't procreate. So it's hard for them to evolve now, or there's like an end. Is there a potential end to their civilization? Things like that. It's almost like you become too smart for your own good. Now, what people want to believe is up to them. But, for instance, that could be one of the wormhole sort of situations that come in the Egyptians. Yeah, I'm just saying. That's stuff that I have an innate awareness of, but I've not gone too deep with it. But again, I could use my tarot cards, ask my spirit guides, and ask them what they think of this, and I'll get answers. It was quite remarkable. There was a very early on into my spiritual development, actually, I had this tarot, this oracle deck, and within that oracle deck, there's all different cards. And I was asking specifically about, I think it was about Egypt. Does Egypt have, I can't remember if it was Egypt. I can't remember exactly the question now. I've got a photo where I've put the question, so I'll know more about what I was asking. But it was uncanny. Out of the whole deck, all I got was the Egyptian cards. And it weren't just Egyptian cards in that deck, and it was mad. They literally pointed towards the fact that we're going to have like maybe telepathic communications in the future and all sorts. And that's an evolution, isn't it? Because that's a higher frequency, high vibration. So that's quite interesting. Doesn't mean in our timeline, of course, in our lifetimes, but in generations to come. That's the advancement of our species. So I thought that's quite cool. Anyway, that's my understanding so far. So maybe people are hearing some new things there. Maybe you haven't heard before, but this is what I innately either know, I have a perception of, and still things to unravel in myself, plus all this. So I do live in reality to a degree, like the 3D realm, where we have to get on and deal with situations as they come. But I also have another layer where I'm very much aware of the other things that go on in the background and the unseen and the energetic and all that, and I know I'll play my part within that too. Just saying.
This is all by grand design. This is all by God. We're playing chess right now. This is like the last man standing type of energy before we form new earth. And so unfortunately, Gaza plays the roles of like waking up the entire planet from whatever slumber that they were in, because a lot of people were unawakened. But after this situation of Gaza being wiped out, everyone is awakened. It's like you cannot escape the truth no matter where it is. And everything is going to work out in our favor. With the Six of Pentacles, it's like people have not been receiving what it is that they deserve. If anything, we've been in the output position, having to put out energy, money, resources to provide funding for an entity. These people, these Israelis, Benjamin Netanyahu, are literally possessed. They are possessed by an entity that has been here since the beginning of time, that has...
I'm going to say, I just see pure evil in that guy. I don't think, he's got no moral compass at all, I don't think. He's just, he's just another version of Hitler. That's how I see it. There's certain characters in this world who just literally, they are, that's all they are. And from my understanding, from something I saw or heard, whether it's true, I don't know, normally like your soul goes through like decompression, and then you go back, and then you learn from it. From my understanding, Hitler's soul has been destroyed. Doesn't always happen, but in some rare cases that's because you'd think our souls are eternal, like infinite, immortal, but there are higher echelons who can literally destroy, so like Archangel Michael can, and by extension, those who he serves. So you could say God, but I say cancel a lie. But Archangel Michael is incredibly powerful. And the archangels can pass their judgment too. And if a soul is that, well, I'm getting goosebumps again now. So if a soul is that far gone, that corrupt, then it may get relinquished. Of course, there's a battle between light and dark, but there's also a mutual... I don't say respect, but a mutual understanding between the dark elements. So it's not a case of just the light is the be all and end all. The light, for every aspect of light, there is dark, and there's like a universal order between the two. So it's a duality. So there's just as much chance that Hitler's soul would have gone back to the negative side of the echelon, but if Archangel Michael's took matters into his own hands, for instance, I'm just saying Archangel Michael, I don't know exactly which, and so be it. That's what I'm saying. So these people who think they're like immortal, they're a bit delusional. There's no guarantee that beyond this lifetime they're going to exist at all. And that's kind of like reap what you sow sort of thing,
Been here throughout all the wars, and nothing has really been able to stop them. But
right. She's hurting my head. We're going to have to turn her down a little bit. She's shouting. She's getting too pumped up.
Some of you have been activated with certain gifts, with certain codons in your DNA.
Was that not wrong? Look, I told you the numbers. 444 is when I saw this video. I've got 144 there. Let's look at what 444 she said. Activating gifts at 444.
Some of you have been activated with certain gifts, with certain codons in your DNA. That's going to put a stop to all this death. You're going to anchor the energy. You're going to bring stability, safety, and hope into the people that need it, because it seems like a lot of people are lost on this journey, and you're influencing more people than you even realize. Like, there's a new start coming in by the universe. The universe has a new start for this entire planet, but in order for that to happen, judgment has to happen. A standoff has to happen. Israel is now at a deadlock, at a gridlock.
I understand she's getting all pumped up and emotional, but it's hurting me to listen because it hurts my ears when it crackles like that. It's like, control yourself. Just control yourself.
They now have the energy of a standoff. This is the last line of defense before Israel comes crumbling down. And some of you know exactly what you are. You've literally been created, reincarnated, and generated in this lifetime to help whatever city that you live in. You're possibly the one awakening like thousands and thousands of people without even knowing it. You don't even have to do anything except exist. If you heal yourself, you heal the collective. They might deem you as insane, as having hallucinations, but we all know who the genetic illnesses are, and it is not you. You're actually a rebel. You're non-conforming. You're an activist, and you're revolutionary. You were placed in this role exactly where you need to be. Some people in this earth are demons. They want to wipe out as many people as they possibly can. They want to siphon their energy. They want to suck up all their light. But you were created for a specific reason. It's like you're part of who is creating New Earth. You're not lost. Unlike other people who are lost, you're not lost. You're going to protect your family. You're going to protect your assets.
I'm getting huge goosebumps. Now, we are responsible for ourselves. Of course we are. With our own, the decisions we make and things. And it's risky to say you're protected because you only protect as much as you invest in yourself too. So it's important you take action too. But I do know fundamentally I am being guided. So with that comes a level of protection and monitoring. But it's up to me to do the right things at a given moment too and take responsibility of things as well. So, yeah, I'm just following the path, just doing the things I think are right. And I think it's all those little things that add up to a culmination, So like, for instance, to me, it's just like, I'll write a book and it's just me sharing my journey, how I overcome this. Then by extension, I'll do another book that overcome another side. And then maybe I'll talk about a different aspect. And then maybe my spiritual breakthrough, I'll share my spiritual breakthrough. And all those little things, it's like leading to something. And it's like leaving a trail as well. So effectively, I'm inspired, like there's the potential to inspire people in more ways than I really thought I was doing. And it's only as you go deeper into your journey, like I do, and I look around and I look back and I think, oh, I get it now. This makes sense. Don't realize in the moment, And I think if you've like anyone that reaches the top of anything, or if you're significant or whatever, people look up to you. I don't think it really. No one's. I don't think anyone can truly feel comfortable. I mean, surely, unless you're a narcissistic lunatic that thinks you should be at the top of the pyramid and everyone else should just be like worshiping you. That's crazy. That's crazy. So I think there would always be, like, if I was in the spotlight, I think I would always wonder why, like, if let's say people are looking up to you, I'd always wonder, why are you looking up to me? Just focus on yourself. That would always be nagging at me a little bit. That I think, like, I'm just following my path, like in the same way you just follow yours. It's like not that big a deal. It's just like, do you know what I mean? I don't know. So if other people really like having all that adulation and stuff, I don't really get it. Like, why do they think they're better than someone else? That's questionable. Even if you're just a singer and stuff, I know it's a talent. It's a beautiful talent. If you've got beautiful vocals, you're a songwriter, that is a gift and a hell. I love that. But to think to consider walking around the planet as though you're better than someone else just because you have that gift is a bit mental to me. Like, you've got a gift that's beautiful, but calm down. So I think anyone that feels they deserve fame is say that. What does that suggest? That suggests that you feel you should be better than someone else. Because to have fame means you're above someone because you're being recognized. You're put on a pedestal. So you feel you deserve. You know what I mean? I just find all that a bit nuts. A bit where I said this, these other people where they just comment, oh, yeah, fame. So I don't crave that. If it comes, then it comes and it's there's a reason for it. But I would always try to stem it a bit and have people invest in themselves rather than admire that or look too deep into this. It's like, look deeper within yourself. you know, and that's the part where I find it a bit strange when people adore celebrities. I'm not anti-celebrities, like in terms of the people they are and what they've achieved, but I am a bit like, don't put so much weight on their life. Focus on your life. You know, there's too much of this in the world at the moment where there's people that just look way too up at other people and not investing in themselves. And then they don't even have that respect of themselves or value who they are. It's like, that's crazy to me.
Money when it comes to Sudan, the worst humanitarian situation of all time, 7.7 million people starving. Guess who funded that? Israel. They funded the RSF, which is like the soldiers that are in Sudan, to cause mass disarray and to contribute to the famine. So everything, all the roads lead to Israel. And when it comes to Israel, all those roads lead to this entity. This entity has been here. You cannot get rid of it. This is like Null. If you've watched Venom 2, this energy is similar to Null, Knull. So if you want to research that, you can. It's all about, like I said, void, nothingness. Just like we have creation, you have to have anti-creation to balance that energy out. You are protected. You're abundant. You're going to live a very abundant life from now until the day that you die. You're going to basically progress exponentially. You're going to bring so much mass wealth into the people, into the earth in general. They're not going to be in power for long. Trust and believe that. You see Jesus behind here? You see this person that's being shot multiple times, not just on their torsos, on their hands. They can't kill you like they can everybody else. They can't kill you. You're practically indestructible. Like, you're so protected. This mission is part of New Earth. You're being protected by things that you don't even understand. Things are changing as we speak. The wheel is turning as we speak.
What I would say is I'm not naive. You know, that's naive to walk around thinking you're invincible. I don't think I'm invincible, but I'm not scared of the end. Yeah, I think you do things in the right way, your soul is protected. That's the way I see it. Your soul is protected. So if any demonic entity or any dark entity wants to try to possess you, or they try to do something to try to take away your gifts, or they want to do, because you see that, what I said about the thing, you've got them dark and negative people who do try to do some satanic shit. I think I'm protected from a lot of that crap because I'm too much of the light and I would never succumb to the darkness. So if you're talking about on a spiritual, soul level, astral level, yeah, I feel like I'm deeply protected in that way. A lot of which comes from me, but of course, I know I'm protected in that way. I think in human level, I think we're all vulnerable. I think, okay, spirit probably could intervene, like guardian angels can move you out of situations. If you follow your intuition, it'll keep you as safe as absolute possible. But I think to think to yourself invincible in life, I think is very naive. We're very vulnerable in life. But you can either live in fear or live in purpose. I choose to live in purpose. So, yeah, it's just the same way all these negative people, they're not protected either. They might think they're protected, but everybody has a time span. And then you pay the piper, if you like. You reap what you sow. You answer for it on the other side.
To Israel.
Anyway, that was quite a deep video, wasn't it? I quite thoroughly enjoyed that, personally. Good video, very deep. What I title it, I've got no idea, because I don't want to be controversial for the sake of controversy. I don't do that. I don't like clickbait headlines and all that nonsense. But there's a lot of depth to go, and I think anyone that goes on a spiritual healing journey will uncover a lot. You'll uncover your own personal growth, your development, all the things within yourself, the things that have maybe been ingrained. Then you'll start seeing the deeper aspects of society. Then you start uncovering more and more and more. You realize that there is a puppet regime. You realize there's a lot of influence. So where she said, like, literally, whatever it is that's controlling Israel is the same entity that's caused that. It's now corrupted other countries to the point where America is almost like a puppet to Israel, and that seems absolutely crazy. But somehow, it's like if you watch the way America behaves in that sense, it does seem to just like cave to them all the time, and there's something not right. And then you look at the way American politics is; it's incredibly corrupt. And of course, you start looking around the world, there's corruption. It just starts. It opens a can of worms when you start looking, and then when you start to feed it all back, even without anyone telling you, you can't help but notice the discrepancies. It's a bit like where you lose one leader of a country and the regime doesn't really change. Well, how's that so? how's the ideology very similar throughout? But then who's leading above them in the shadows? That's really where the truth lies, isn't it? So again, it's for people to unravel. I don't focus too much on all that. I'm aware of it. I'm innately aware of it. I continue to learn if information comes to me. But I'm just me personally. I'm more focused on healing. I'm more focused on just uplifting people, inspiring them, helping them see the truth for themselves within their own life and flourish. And I think that's just the best way for the planet to heal. You can sit there and fight the darkness directly, or you can just instead you do it indirectly. If everybody's vibration increases, the darkness just can't exist within it. So that's where the new earth breaks from the old, and it's like effectively they've got nothing else to leech off because no one's paying any attention to it, or no one's putting up with that anymore, and that's the way I see it. So I would just beat them indirectly. Getting into arguments with people, for instance, is what they want. That's feeding into it, isn't it? It's a debate becomes an argument then becomes negative, so it becomes spiteful. That's what the darkness wants. So rather than get into an argument, just get on peacefully, just get on with your life. It's the same thing, So don't feed that what it wants, and life improves.